Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever, good middle of the night. Glad you're here watching this, our recorded version of lesson number 4, where we're going to continue thinking about how does a scientist think and what does it mean to think scientifically. I We're continuing to practice and get better at the expectations of academics and behavior for this NTI time, but we are really starting to dive into thinking about what is the scientific approach that we're going to use to think about things, and what is the systematic way that we do that. So some reminders for you. Again, if you were here for the live lesson version of this, and know what's going on, completed the assignments already, and feel confident in the material, then you do not have to watch this. But if you were A, not there at all, or B, not fully there, so really sleepy and didn't pay attention, was distracted by something going on in your personal or home life, whatever it might be that kind of kept you from being fully here, please continue and watch this. So realize I'm spending a lot of time with your work, so please take a second to check the comments and the grades. Continue turning in late work. It is more important for you to do it than to worry about what your grade is going to be. Just do it. Remember that any of these ed puzzles are available for you to watch multiple times if you don't pick something up. We are going to continue to practice these expectations of being safe, being responsible, being respectful, being prepared, and being here, remembering that there are many different ways that this will manifest itself in our classroom. I do want to give you all some snaps for your start of this. You have been very mature and detailed and deliberate and honest in your work and your answers, and I am super grateful of that. So snaps to you all. Let's keep it up as we move into our more science and chemistry content related assignments and tasks. So the first thing I'd like you to do is, for your warm-up, the very first step of what we call the scientific method, or the systematic way that a scientist thinks, is we as a scientist make an observation or form a question about something that we observe out in the real world. That's the very first thing that you do, is that you notice something out there and you think about it. There are then these next 5 steps, okay? And what I want you guys to do is put these 5 steps in the order that they would go after the very first step of making an observation. Great. So we are going to continue to develop our ability to think in a scientific way, and to approach different phenomena or things that we see as a scientist would. That is a major to-do of something that we're going to develop in this class. So like I said, the scientific method is the way that scientists approach things that they observe or questions that they have. So what we're going to start by doing is what is called a See, Think, Wonder chart activity. And so if we were in class, you'd be filling out this chart and we'd be discussing it afterwards, but we're going to do it a little bit differently here. If you want to jot down on another document as we watch this first part of the video, or if you want to write it down in your notebook, or whatever it might be, I will provide this for you if you want to use it in a document, but you're not required to. You're going to be required to put your responses in this ed puzzle. But you need to think as you watch this video, what do you see? What do you observe? What are you watching in this video? Then think, what does this video make you think about? Wonder is the last one, is what questions or ideas did you wonder about or come up with as we watched? All right, so be ready to have something for each of these after we watch the first 1 minute and 45 seconds of this video.
The scientific method is about ordinary people doing ordinary things. That includes you, me, and other scientists in the world. The scientific method is just a process or steps taken to produce reliable results to answer a specific question. Maybe you think you don't use a scientific method in your life, but I can guarantee that you do. For example, imagine you wake up on a Saturday and you couldn't find your cell phone. That's an observation. Then you do a little research by thinking about the last time you had it. You suspect that it might be in the pocket of your pants from yesterday. That's a hypothesis. And when you check your pants, you're doing an experiment. But science and life don't always go as planned, and you find no cell phone in your pants pocket. So the second observation leads you to think again and recall what else you did yesterday. You remember that you put your cell phone in your backpack during school. So you decide it must be there, and you go and check. And lo, there it is. Life can continue, and you're so happy that you share the results with your best friend and explain why it took you so long to text them back. Science. These are the steps of the scientific method. And at any step, you can go back and repeat the process. Typically, after you conduct an experiment and conclude that your results aren't answering the question, you go back and try something else. And really, truly, observations and research are going on the entire time. Science is a continually ongoing process. Now let's break down each of these steps into their component parts.
Great. So if you need to go back and watch that section of this video again, you can. I will also include the link to this whole video, and this is the video that you're going to be watching another time to take some notes on after this lesson. So, what was something that you observed while watching this video? What was something that you thought about? What was something that you wondered about? What were some questions or ideas that came up in your brain while you were watching this? So, the idea with the scientific method is that it's this big scary thing with these words that you've never thought of before, that they seem really complicated, but the reality is that it's the thought process that you go through anytime that there is a problem or a question that is put in front of you. It is a simple mindset that allows you to come up with potential solutions or answers. See if those answers or solutions are correct or the best. Analyze what that experiment or what that solution or testing says, and then decide if you need to try something else or if you've answered your question or come to the best solution. It really is just a mindset. So what you're going to do for your assignment is that you are going to view this video again in the form of an Edpuzzle, which then will allow you to take some notes specifically about the steps of the scientific method. You're going to watch the video and take notes about each of the 6 steps that are discussed, making sure to not only write down the information that is presented on this really nice video, but also anything that she might bring up that is important, that you think is important for you to remember. So some ideas when you're taking notes is you can always slow down the video if it's going too fast. You can watch the video or the video section multiple times to make sure that you understand it. It's a pretty short video, so it shouldn't be a problem. You can always pause and replay specific sections if you miss something. And then always think to write down additional points that the narrator brings up if you think that they're relevant or helpful and make your understanding clearer. This is all important because after you finish watching this recorded lesson and after you finish watching the Edpuzzle note video, you are going to have your first Check for Understanding quiz on Google Classroom. So to finish out, I want you to write in 1 minute the most important thing that you took from today's lesson. All right. Thanks, guys. It's been awesome. Have a nice long weekend. Take this time to rest, reboot, and get caught up on any work, and I will see you on Tuesday. Bye.